So, well, first things first, what are you drinking today? I got, well, before I got San Camino. What are you going for?
San Camino.
Okay, cool. Go for it. Help yourself. Whilst you're doing that, you want to introduce yourself to the people?
Yes, my name's Becca.
Hey.
I'm a teacher, primarily an economics A-level teacher. Run my own tuition company. Have been for the last 3 years. And love my job.
That's good. Everyone loves their job. So why a teacher? Sorry. Also, two questions. Why a teacher? And how can you love being a teacher? Don't get a lot of abuse from children, that sort of stuff.
No.
And parents.
Rarely.
Okay.
So you do get it definitely, but not all the time. Abusive children, you just deal with them accordingly.
Yeah.
In school, definitely. Now, never.
Okay.
In school, you definitely do get some abusive children.
Mm-hmm.
I once had to exclude a boy from my classes permanently.
What did you do from this excluding?
I think he was shouting unnecessarily. I was just excluded him for about 3 months from my lessons.
3 months?
Yeah, it was going to mess up his GCSEs, but he came back eventually. I allowed him back.
Okay.
The last part. I sent him work.
So it wasn't like left high and dry?
No. He had to sit in SLT's office, and I sent him work every week, but he just couldn't come back to my lesson.
So how long have you been teaching for?
7 years in total.
And why did you want to become a teacher? Because you're the second teacher I've interviewed so far.
Oh, okay. I like kids.
Oh, my word, because I don't like the word kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there are multiple words for different things. So why is it making a difference? Baby, girl, child.
Because I think it's an annoying Americanism that we shouldn't use in English language.
Okay, that's fair. Because of the fact that it is American, because I constantly tell my kids about American slang. So I understand that from that point of view. Yes.
Yeah, and that's one of the main things. One of the main reasons why I dislike it is because it's an Americanism. Where English would kind of have because language kind of was always taken on their nonsense. So that's part of the reason why secondly is baby girl and yeah.
Yeah, I mean yes, I get that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're drinking San Camino with some lemonade.
Yes.
What do you think?
It's very nice. So obviously I only know about the normal rum, Ray Nephew.
Yeah,
which always burns my insides. So
I call Ray Nephew is what I'd call a winter warmer.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, gives that furnace in your chest.
Yes.
Come outside, especially in the UK.
Yeah.
It's been cold and wet outside. You come inside, have a glass of that, and you're like, whew, feeling good.
Yes, I really like this. It's not too strong. And tastes kind of flowery. It's quite nice.
Okay. Is rum stuff you normally go for when you're drinking, or you
I usually have rum and ting.
Rum and ting.
But Ray Nephew.
Why are you so Jamaican?
That's what I like.
Okay, cool. So you said you run your own business as well?
Yes.
So, sorry, I was on silent. Apologies. So that's unprofessional of me. So how are you finding that?
I love it. I love running my own business.
Yeah.
I enjoy my job. Teaching is what I've been doing for 7 years anyway. And now that I do my own thing. I plan my own lessons. Obviously I report to myself. I have anyone else to report to. I have my own teachers. I really enjoy being in charge of everything I do, changing how my style of teaching, and nobody can say anything to me.
Okay.
Obviously, still following the curriculum, still following what I need to do, but I'm able to do how I want to do it, how I want to teach.
So, how does what you want to do differ to working in a school? What's so unique about the way you teach versus working in a school?
So the main difference between working in school and what I do is that I'm definitely teaching a lot less children. So 1-to-1, the maximum I teach is 5 children.
Is it like an optimum number? It's like a perfect number. If you were in the school, is it like a perfect number of class size?
Yeah, I would say 15 to 20 would be
15? Wow.
15 to 20.
Okay. Much lower than expected.
Much lower?
Yeah, because what classes now are 30s now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I teach A-level. Primarily I teach A-level economics, and in my old school the classes were ridiculously big. I had 24, 26, 30 children for A-level. So it became silly.
So what's the biggest class you've had to teach? Not like maybe a one-time thing. What's the biggest you've had to do, and how did that work out for you?
32 GCSE students.
Okay.
And it's been fine. It's not.
Yeah.
But you just obviously you have to make sure you have your seating plan set out, so you have like different abilities in different parts of the class that you know your students quite well.
I don't know, you'd have mixed abilities in the same class, wouldn't you have like...
Economics you do. Not every, obviously, the core subjects, maths, English, science, not always, it depends on the school actually as well. They usually are setted, but it depends on what subject. Economics never. Because timetabling, humanities, you're not going to find it. Humanities and social sciences, and you're not going to be able to set them. You can only do that for like 3 subjects. Okay. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You learn something new all the time.
No, well, this is true. So I'm going to ask you a question. How often and how annoyed do you get when people ask where you're from?
I don't get annoyed at all.
You don't?
Not at all.
Okay.
I'm actually not bothered. People are curious, they want to know. I prefer they ask than speculate and talk about it instead. So I'm happy for people to ask me. And how often? All the time. I very rarely go somewhere. And I'm in a social setting where people don't ask me. Yeah. Okay.
Ooh.
I don't ask anybody that question unless they ask me. I kind of ask them, okay, where'd you come from? We're just supposed to, I guess.
If I do, I think I'd find it very annoying when someone's asking me. I don't imagine it. People ask you all the time.
No.
And it would be annoying, like, oh, fuck, here we go again.
Sometimes I say guess. Sometimes I just tell them, depends.
What's the weirdest guess someone's ever said to you?
The weirdest?
Yeah, like the most unusual thing someone said. Oh, you look like you're from... You're like, where'd that come from?
Probably Mexico is probably the only one.
Oh, really? Mexican?
Yeah, and I was a bit like, that's it. I do get Mexicans randomly talking to me sometimes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had an old woman talk to me recently, actually. But because I speak Spanish.
Wait, stop.
She asked me for directions.
Where were you?
In Dulwich.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the old lady came up to you?
Yeah, she was really sweet. She asked me for directions.
In Spanish?
In Spanish. But because I could reply.
Well, she didn't know that though.
No, she didn't know that, of course. She just assumed that I was Mexican. But I replied, and I had to think about it for a second. I looked at my phone, and I was like, oh yeah, there it is. So I was able to tell her where it was with my limited Spanish, but I was able to tell her where it was.
Mexican?
Yeah. I have people shout at me, like, from cars and stuff, and shout to me Mexican.
Really?
Yeah. I don't see it.
I just come from Mexico, I don't see it. I don't see it. Okay, that is left field. People don't ask me where I'm from.
No one cares.
I guess not.
Where do you come from, David?
I'm a South London boy.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
What's nationality? Where do your parents come from?
They're from the Caribbean, from Jamaica and Guyana. So I'm of Caribbean blood. You guys know that already. I did a little thing about where my parents from. So because people often confuse Ghana and Guyana. I get that a lot.
Yeah.
So if I did a little explainer with a video a few videos back saying this is Ghana, West Africa, this is Guyana in South America. So I get that. I don't want to say it's annoying, but it's like, you should know better by now.
I mean, it depends who you're talking to.
Oh, I suppose so.
I'm not very good at geography, so someone like me might not know.
You know the difference between Ghana and Guyana.
I know that.
Oh, okay. I'm not asking you the capital, I'm going to put you on the spot.
No. I just told you I'm not very good at geography, so definitely.
That's all I'm going to put you on the spot, leaving you alone. No. So, how much staff do you have? 5. Trying to employ 2 more within the next year, I think. What kind of subjects do you want them for? I think I need a new maths teacher, or an additional maths teacher, not a new one. And how do you find how do you find being a boss and managing staff? Oh, is it as glamorous as people think it is, being in charge? I don't want to say it's glamorous. I enjoy it, but I like my staff. I really like my staff. I wouldn't employ them for them. I didn't. I don't have any problem with any of my staff. Mm-hmm. They're actually just lovely people in general. Okay. I wouldn't say it's particularly glamorous. It's just I just talk to them like I'm talking to one of my friends. But so the teacher side you love, that's why you do it. But what the business side of things, like getting new clients, get rid of clients, managing finances, paying people, issues around that, issues around managing people, that business side of what you do. How you find that? I have an admin team now. Okay. To help me, because sending invoices
number one, monthly invoices were extremely time consuming.
Chasing
that
money,
alone.
that sort of stuff, yeah.
I still have to check everything because obviously the admin team are not 100% done. They're fairly new. I've only had them for like the last 6 weeks, I think.
Okay.
And they help out a lot with sending emails. Finances. So finances is fine. I pay everybody's wages because I know I know who's doing what and whatever. I don't allow admin to do that. But they send out the invoices. They now arrange everybody's timetable, which is amazing for me because timetables become very confusing.
But the timetables in terms of who's teaching what, how many,
when. People make changes, obviously. Sometimes, you can't make this lesson when you want to reschedule for him. I couldn't keep up with it.
Okay, yeah.
And so I was sending emails very late or just like sending it to the wrong person and things like that. So I was like, no, I need admin team so they can take charge.
Okay.
And that's helped me so much.
So it sounds like business is doing very well.
Yeah.
You got staff, you're employing more staff, you got admin team, business is doing well.
Yes.
Okay. So what's next for you? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go next? Will you open a school?
I've thought about that. That is something I've thought about. Opening a school. Ideally, I would like to open a school, and it would be a very nice private school, which is what my aim is.
How much do you charge?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
However, I did want, for every private school I have or open, I wanted to also open an orphanage where the children can board, and the private school that will pay for that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Will fund the orphanage where the children can board and they can obviously be educated, but to the same standard.
So where would you do that? In the UK, Caribbean,
I don't think I'll do that in
Africa?
UK. Somewhere, maybe like Caribbean, Africa. Don't know about Asia, but that's not for now. That's definitely something in like my next 5 to 10 years.
Well, that's quite soon. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, that's interesting. So does that sounds to me like you like giving back to the community?
I do.
Yeah.
I think there are lots of disadvantaged people, children, and we should be helping each other.
Yeah, those who can should, right?
Definitely, those who can. Yes.
I suppose I could do more. I should do more.
But you don't.
No.
Why not?
I'm asking the questions.
I'm curious. Why not?
Why not? There isn't a reason. Laziness. If I'm being honest with you, laziness is the real reason.
What do you have to do in order to give back, though?
I mean, time, I suppose.
Yeah.
Time. I think time is what you need to give back. I can volunteer places. I'm sure I easily could. But it's just putting that as a priority over than just watching Formula 1 or football.
Nothing. Why not help somebody out? You could change somebody's life.
I could change somebody's life. So my old boss, he's a mentor. So I thought about that, but I always thought to myself, I wouldn't know how to mentor. I don't know what to do. What I do.
That is a really good. So I often get requests for black male mentors.
So what's the expectation? What's the expectations?
What's the expectation of being a mentor?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't really know because I would never approached like that. I'm always like, I don't know one, so I can't help you out.
Right. Okay.
But I mean, I'm guessing just to talk to the young person, find out more about them, and find out what's bothering them, what's going on, give them advice.
Because the reason why I struggle with that because I do okay with work-wise, but I didn't go do like a traditional thing I've not gone to done the whole uni thing, what have you. So my viewpoint is probably skewed to that. Is biased against certain things. I don't think, for example, I personally don't think most people should go to university. I think you should go to university if you're doing something very specialist in it. So if you're a biological engineer or something, going to be a doctor or a teacher, then yeah, go to university. But doing what I do, you need to get professional qualifications.
Yeah, so it depends on the child, obviously. But it's not only about education. It's about how the child's feeling, about what's going on in their lives. Okay. So when I've been approached for a mentor, like, it hasn't been regarding the education, it's been other things going on in their lives they're unsure about, they're not sure how to deal with them. So it's kind of just talking to them, giving them advice. You're wise and old, you should be good.
What do you mean I'm old?
Older.
Older or just old?
Old. But wise as well, that was a compliment, wasn't it? I said you're wise and old.
my days.
So that was really
Less of
nice
the old, please.
Okay.
I'm only
21.
So, I was out the other night and someone said I looked like I was 22. I was like, thank you, I love you. I love you.
I was obviously confused. Probably very dark in there.
She was a very smart woman.
She was,
She was a very smart woman. She saw what she saw and she recognized what she saw.
Oh, okay.
And she was, this fresh-faced young man has to be in his 20s.
And she was probably above 50 and probably couldn't see that well.
Doesn't matter what she was, how well she can see. You said what she said.
Poor thing.
You said what she said, and that's all that matters.
Run with that.
I am running with that. I'm holding that one.
Yeah.
So have you ever done anything like this before?
No, never.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you feel about it so far?
I mean, it's just like talking to you. It's quite nice. Normal conversation.
Mm-hmm. Some people get nervous because the cameras, they get a bit nervy. You have no nerves?
No, not
Well, I suppose you usually talk to groups of people, so you're used to talking.
Yes. I'm used to talking in front of people I don't know. And
So, question for you. So, when you were back in school, did you ever have to have assessments, that sort of thing?
in front of lots of people, you mean?
No, like you teach a class, did you have Ofsted or whatever, or your head teacher come into your class and to see how
all the time.
Oh, really?
You have that very regularly, especially in grammar schools. People do come, teachers come, they come and give you feedback and things like that. It'd be like 3 or 4 teachers sometimes.
Oh, really?
And you have a row of them sitting in the back of your class.
I can imagine that clipboards, making notes.
Not clipboard, but they do have a piece of paper because they have to fill out the form. So everyone has a form to fill out and have to write and to give you feedback and stuff like that. And then you have a meeting with them afterwards for them to verbally give you feedback.
So did you ever get nervy, that sort of thing?
Definitely the first year, I think I was still quite nervous because you have to overly plan your lesson.
Did you get advance warning when they're coming?
Yes.
Oh, that's not fair.
Sometimes.
No, that's not fair. No.
So sometimes you do. You have like a certain amount. I can't remember how it was. You have a certain amount a year of the ones that you can plan, and other than that, teachers can just walk in whenever they feel like it.
I don't think you should plan it. I remember when I was in school.
But your lesson should be amazing if you're planning it.
So what I'm going to say to you is this. I don't think Ofsted should let the school know when they come. They should just turn up. Like, we would get a day's notice, coming tomorrow.
They come. They don't give you that much notice.
Because otherwise, you're not seeing the real school, right? Not seeing how it really is.
But how much can you change within a couple of weeks?
We can you can do things and make things like
They just put up, all they do is put up new posters and stuff like that.
Yeah, whatever it is, make sure this. They can do things. I'm sure you can do things to make it look just a bit more. A bit more planning is useful. You just
have an announcement. Officer's coming next week. That's it.
So everyone's on an A game now. Everyone's make sure that this lesson plan is.
Depending on what school you're in, everyone's in your A game anyway. Really, like working in the grammar school.
Teachers don't slack off.
They do sometimes.
Right.
However, it depends on the school. It depends on the general ethos of the school. And
have you ever worked in a really crap school?
Yeah.
Don't name it, but
I won't.
What made it really crap?
It was an all boys school.
Secondary school, then, yeah.
Secondary school. Yeah. I was teaching BTEC, which it's the first time I've ever done touch.
Do they still do BTEC? Is that still a thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So BTEC what?
BTEC Business Studies at that time. The boys were okay.
But
not the best behaved, but because I'm fairly strict, they were better behaved. But they're just very, very slow.
Oh, really?
Very slow, and it was...
BTEC's what, 17, 18 year olds?
Yeah, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, they weren't too bad. Just the concentration, the focus, and it's constantly having to bring them back and just explain very simple things to them, giving them very, very simple tasks, and that for me was just...
So was that A, because of BTEC students, B, because of the school they were in, C, because the background they probably come from a rubbish school previously?
I think it was all three, to be honest. Because not all BTECs tend to be that slow, but it was definitely the school that I was in. Just the school in general was just completely different to what I'd experienced before. Sometimes heckling when you're walking, I was definitely confused.
So, that's a good thing, actually, that's a good point. So, you're a good looking woman, right?
Thanks.
So how did you find being around teenage boys?
So I've worked in 3 boys' schools. Yeah. And I weirdly, for some reason, I've only ever been to interviews in boys' schools as well. I don't know why. It just so happened. Economics is a fairly boy-heavy subject anyway. Mm-hmm. So even when they've always been boys, but I've had a few girls in like sixth forms where they've come from the schools, and then they've had a few girls, like 2 or 3 maximum. I once went to a college, the college you went to actually.
Okay.
Interviewed there.
Yeah.
Lovely staff, absolutely amazing staff.
Yeah.
But the children
Yeah.
I didn't feel like they were children actually. I felt like they were grown adults.
Okay.
And then
So they try on of you.
in
That
an
sort of
interview,
thing.
in the interview lesson, the head is there. There's multiple people there. I think there's like 3 or 4 people there. And they just felt no way about going, you're right, miss, what are you saying? This is not normal behaviour. Like, I was shocked, taken aback. And to the point where I was actually to continue the lesson and ignore the fact that these children are just trying it on, like right in front of the teachers, and the teachers had no problem with it.
So how do you handle that when you've got a student 16, 17, 18, whatever he is, no more than say 19 I suppose, and he's trying to ting with you? How do you
quickly as possible?
So how do you shut it down? How do you do it? What your techniques do you? What do you say?
They're out of order. How dare they? You completely go serious, and you say no. There's no way we're having this conversation. You need to stop immediately, otherwise I'm gonna have to
So you don't even
reprimand you for this.
Okay.
I can't entertain their children.
No, I'm saying entertain them. I'm like, I was trying to say, I'm trying to think, well, how
what?
I don't know, like, do you like...
Well, you can't laugh about it. If you laugh,
it's funny, right? It's funny though,
it's
right?
It's funny when you think about it.
Right?
It's funny in that second. However, you can't continue. You have to stop them. And you have to tell them they're being disrespectful and they're out of order and you need to stop. Otherwise, you have to leave my class now.
And how do you find discipline in... Again, you know, boys in school are like up here. My friend's got a son, he's like 12, he's like almost my height, and I'm 6 foot, and he's like he's like 5'10", 5'11". So how do you find, you know, trying to instill discipline when boys are towering above you?
Boys always, I mean, everyone towers above me because I'm just that short. However, they are still children at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And you were still the adult, you were still in charge of them in that class.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely found that any school that I've worked in initially, the student's going to think, she's small, she's cool, I'm going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as I kind of start, they push the boundary slightly. But within, I would say, maximum a month, everybody fixes it.
So you find that they try to...
Yeah. And if I was a man, or if I was taller, they wouldn't do that. But they definitely they think, I'm young, small, she'll be fine, she's going to be able to do what we want. And I'm like, no. I'm not like that.
So do you feel you have to go extra hard because you're smaller?
And look, I think the main thing is I look young as well.
And you look young, so you go hard to go extra.
I have to, because they think, she must just finish her degree. She must be like 21, 22.
Just a fresh face,
I get that
started.
all the time, exactly.
Okay.
And I'm like, no, we're not doing this. Regardless of how old I am anyway, it doesn't make any difference. I'm still your teacher. I've been employed to teach you. That's it.
Alright, so a couple of questions. Have you ever worked with a really crap teacher? And what's the worst student? Is it like a student you've worked with before and thought to yourself, it's the worst, whether it's behaviour wise or educational wise, it's just the worst student you've ever had?
Okay, so regarding teachers, I've worked with a really, really, really crap teacher. Lovely man. However, he just knew nothing about the subject. To the point where I actually had to say to him, what you have to do is, you're not going to teach anymore.
Oh, shit.
You're just going to babysit.
Just be there.
You're just going to be present so the kids don't leave the class.
Just make sure they don't call the ruckus.
You're just going to sit there.
Babysit.
He's babysitting them. I've printed out all my lessons basically, and I printed them out and I said basically just give them these PowerPoints. They will go through it. They will write notes. Don't answer any questions.
Oh wow.
Basically, just don't talk to them.
Wow.
And that was the best way because the students were coming to me and saying, he's actively confusing me. I'm reading one thing, I've learnt one thing, and he's telling me the complete opposite. And it was ongoing. I kept talking to him every week. I was talking to him all the time. I was talking to him. It just seemed to be getting worse, and it was getting closer and closer to A levels, closer to GCSEs. And I said, you have to stop now. Don't teach them. Don't talk to them.
Wow.
Just sit at the front of the class. Read newspaper if you need to. Take something to entertain you.
But just not interact.
Yeah, and I had to go to. I often leave his lessons to go to. Leave my lessons, get cover for my lessons, go to his lessons, teach, go back to my lessons, and things like that. He was a lovely man, but it just.
Okay, so we're gonna have another technical issue because this thing's gonna overheat in a minute. I can see the warning sign. So we're gonna have a pause it and come back in like 5 minutes where it cools itself down. we can call it a night. What do you do? You have to come back in a few minutes?
Please come back, yeah.
Okay, cool.
It doesn't taste strong, but it definitely...
Okay, so we're going to wrap this up now. So we had a little break, let things cool down. So, we were talking off camera, so we'll finish it off. We were talking about what we're watching at the moment. And you were saying that what?
Oh yeah, I was saying that I would like to start watching Top Boy. I don't watch much TV, but yeah, Top Boy looks like fun.
But how far have you got in the Top Boy? Like, obviously none of us seen season 5 yet. But have you seen 4 or 3?
I think I've seen some of 4. I know who the main people are. Like, I know who Kano is. I don't know his name in the show, but I know who Kano is. I know who Ashley Walters is.
Yeah.
I don't know what the names are. And I know who the girl is.
It's funny you call him Ashley Walters. I know Ashley D. That's not Ashley D. That's all I know.
Obviously, now that he's an actor, he was kind of
No, it's Ashley D. It's Ashley D.
You know what you mean? He was so yeah, definitely. I mean, that's just showing your age as well.
Yeah, I'm not even in standard. It is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'll say something and people are like on a podcast I was on the other day and I said something and this girl was like 20 something and she looked at me like, what are you talking about? I said we're having a chin wag and she was like, and she was also American, so maybe that was a thing that she not heard in America.
Oh yeah.
She's like, what's a chin wag? I was like, oh, thanks. Let's break it down. But I'm currently watching Snowfall season 5.
Never heard of it. What's it about?
So Snowfall is it's like set in the 1980s, and it's about the drug epidemic in Los Angeles. Normally drug things are like in New York and that sort of thing, but this is in LA. And I'm pretty sure it's based off a real person, but I'm not quite sure who it is. Yeah, but it's like, it's how the CIA, it's just basically a family, like son, then brings his mum in a little bit, and his aunt, his uncle in.
Wow.
Yeah. So part of it is like his aunt and uncle are like dealing for him and dealing with him and whatever. His mum's trying to legitimize it. So he's got all properties going on.
Oh, okay.
But he's buying from the CIA is the link. The CIA is the link. So he buys the drugs from the CIA to sell on the streets. So it's a mad one. It's really good. It does Damson Idris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's the main character in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So it's good. It's worth watching. It's really good. So I'm on season 5.
Wow.
One more season left. They're going to film on season 6. So season 5 is just coming out, and they've announced the 6th and final season. So that'll be quite good. Have you ever watched Ozarks? No, you don't watch TV. Ozarks is not a good series to watch. Ozarks
Never even heard of it.
Oh my days. Ozark's one of those sleepers that not a lot of people heard of, like Snowfall, not a lot of people heard of, but Ozark is live.
Oh, okay.
They have a family drug thing.
Oh, okay. So that's your thing.
No, so what it is, right? The dad is an accountant, right?
Yeah.
And then him and his partner were doing like the books and helping like clean the books for a Mexican drug cartel. But what happened is his accountant partner was like giving money off the top, and they found out.
Oh wow.
And the only way to save his life was to promise them he can make them X millions. He's like, no, don't kill me. I can I do this for you, and then it just rolls up from there, and then it's like season 4 or 5 at the moment, and it's like just his family's involved in it as well now as well. His wife's in it. His daughter's like you need to watch. That's really good. It's called the Ozarks. So they moved to a place called the Ozarks in America.
Oh, okay.
And it's about the first I think it's like in Chicago, and they moved to Ozarks, and it's about them in the Ozarks doing this stuff for the Mexican cartel. And again, they're trying to legitimize a little bit, try to get into politics and all sorts. So that's another good one. Yeah, it's a really good one. It's definitely worth watching. So watching that, and then I'm halfway through Servant. They paused it. No, Ozark they paused. I have not finished Servant season 3. The Servant it's a weird one. It's not a drug one. It's a weird one.
Okay.
So you know M. Night Shyamalan, the guy who did like Glass. What's the thriller trilogy? There's Glass. What's that movie with what's his face? Bruce Willis, where he can't die.
I don't know, but that sounds cool.
You guys will know.
He can't die.
Yeah, he's like a superhero movie, but it's like a superhero movie, not like a superhero movie, but he can't die. And then Samuel L. Jackson's a guy who's like got brittle bones and it breaks the time. That's why his movie's called Glass. And there's a third one in it. I forgot the other actor's name. And he's like a bit mental, but it's like a trilogy. Anyway, M. Night Shyamalan. He also directed a crap movie that didn't do well. Avatar. He directed Avatar.
Oh, okay.
You look at me with a blank face.
Yeah. I've seen Avatar.
The cartoon.
Yeah.
No, not the blue people Avatar, not that
What?
one.
No, I don't know that.
Avatar: The Last Bender.
No.
Bitchin'.
No.
Avatar: The Last Bender is a great Nickelodeon cartoon. It's about, I'm going well off piece here. I'll come back to it in a minute. So Avatar: The Last Bender is about it's a cartoon. It's quite mature, but but children can watch it still.
Okay.
And it's about, there's 4 nations: Earth, Wind, Fire, and Water Nation. And every 100 years or so, there's like one person who can control all 4 elements.
Oh, okay.
Right? It's like almost like a god thing. So what happened? But every few years is one person. But what happened is the last, and it changes. So that last person control everything. He's predominantly from one of the nations first, and he has to go around and learn other bits and pieces. So the last one is called. He was an airbender. It's called Aang. He was the last airbender because he went missing for 100 years.
Wow.
In 100 years, a fire nation tries to take over the world. So the fire nation like dominating everywhere, like taking over the water nation, the earth nation, the air nation, just wiping people out, taking over. And then Aang gets defrosted and he comes back. It's about him. He's a young boy though, and he's learning. He has to go about learning the other.
By different elements.
Yeah. And that's to fight the fire nation. So each season, and so they made a film of it about it. The film was terrible.
Oh, okay.
They made it too soft. Because I don't know if you watch anime or like animated cartoons, but sometimes they are very, especially anime. They do things that they can't do in films. They like the way, the level of patience they have to have, and the way they tell a story and draw things out and create. They are very good at creating drama and suspense. That whenever you make it into a Western film, you lose. Because you've got to make it more fast-paced, cut things out. And where a scene can last like 2 episodes in an anime, because it's that intense, they'll want to rush it and condense it for film, and it just loses that element of, and the film just gets, like Cowboy Bebop. Great, one of the best anime ever. Netflix tried to make a live-action version of it, terrible. Another one, what's it called, with L? Death Note. Another amazing Death Note, it's like a detective murder series. Probably one of the most adult animes. Without being into like graphic, it's one of the most adult things you can watch. That's a cartoon. It's like a psychological thriller. And when they made an live action version of it, just ruined it. Like, because you miss all the complex back and forth between the characters. It's really, if you like that, so if you like thrillers, you like Death Note. Because it is a tremendously great anime. Anyway, I was going to. M. Night Shyamalan directed Airbender. He directed this Glass and the other 2 things. I thought they called it. Someone will put it in the comments, what have you. But he directs Servant. Servant's good. So what it is, this couple, right? They're married. She can't have children. Whenever she gets pregnant, but she's had like multiple miscarriages, like dozens of miscarriages. So. And last one, she's like wrecked, distraught. And so, as part of her therapy, they gave like a dolly, like a real life looking dolly to sort of just like, baby sort of just like work through it and just, I suppose like a temporary thing to sort of get over the whole aspect of losing another child. So, part of the whole process, she insists on getting a nanny.
To look after this dolly?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, they get nanny in, but then the dolly turns into a real baby. Your face.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't give it away too much, but it's a mad dynamic. What happens? Because the question is like, what the hell? What sort of thing going on?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so you got to watch it to find out what's happening, and then the nanny's from some sort of like cult thing going on as well. It's real mad. It's real yeah.
That sounds crazy.
And last one, I've not seen the new season, but you know Jason Momoa? Aquaman,
No.
big guy.
Yeah, Aquaman.
He's in a thing called C.
Okay.
So C set in
SEA or SEE?
SEE.
Oh, okay.
So it's set in the future. I can't remember why, but humans have lost vision. We can't see. We can't see. We've gone like a good 100 years in the future, and we're here. So like the world's falling apart, sort of thing, because they're not seeing.
But we can hear and touch.
We hear and touch, and we've adapted. We've adapted to a new world without sight.
Okay.
So we fight without sight. No, but there's no guns that you can't see what you shoot at. So they do things. It's mad. New fighting styles, that sort of thing. But he has 2 adopted children. Sight comes back slowly. So there's like a handful of people, and 2 of his children, like kind of adopted children, have sight. And because people know their sight, people who can see are hunted. And so it's about his children, it's him and his children, protect them, and how they navigate this new world. Because remember, they have a distinct advantage because they can see and nowhere else.
All 5 senses.
Yeah, so it's a mad one. That's a good one as well. But I'm not sure. I've seen 2 seasons. That's on Apple TV. I've seen 2 seasons, and I don't know if it's the 3rd out yet. It's pretty good. So those are things I sort of get my fingers in.
Sound like you watch quite a fair amount.
Because sometimes I don't really watch much. I watch a few animes. I'm watching a few animes as well, but I'm like not in it. I'm like sporadically watching those. But also when those come on, I will like binge watch those.
Okay.
For like a week. I'm watching nothing but those for like a week, couple of days, whatever it is. How bad I'm binge watching.
See how much time you've got to get back to community and mentor somebody when you're binge watching.
I have time to get back to community, and I can mentor.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think you should think about it.
Wow, you didn't put it on me, innit?
So, you're talking about all these movies. You're so passionate about binge watching anime. You're passionate about mentoring and helping someone, changing someone's life, a young boy's life.
Why you do that to me like that for?
I'm just saying. I'm just making a point. Because you were able to talk for how long just now about these movies. I never ever watch anything. I don't know what you're talking about. However, in that time when you're binge watching something, watching 5 seasons of whatever it be about a drugs lord, you could be changing a young black boy's life. Not even necessarily black, but a young boy's life, or a girl even.
Fair enough. That's yeah, okay. Jeez, wow.
Food for thought.
You just really put it on me like that, innit?
Yeah.
Wow. Who do you mentor though?
Do you know how many children I teach?
Oh, fine, shut up.
I'm sorry. I have students that still call me, but they're like 19, 20, 21 that still call me and ask me for advice. So it's not necessarily a mentoring scheme.
Yeah.
And I do not get paid for it, but they do call me and ask me, listen, miss, I'm doing this and this. Can you help me here? All the time. And my calling might not be mentoring. I give out free lessons as well. It's not like I don't only work for money.
I'm not sure what I can offer. That's probably why I'm not there. I'm not sure what I can offer.
But I think you think quite highly of yourself, so I'm very surprised that in this instance, when talking about mentoring somebody, you're able to say, I'm not sure what I can offer.
I'm not sure what I can offer.
You could offer, like I told you, you're old and wise. So you could definitely offer some wisdom. Talk to somebody, like how you like to ask questions. Talk to them about what they're doing, what's happening in their life. And give them advice accordingly, what you think. You might not take it, but, it's nice to have somebody to talk to, guidance. These days, children are going through so many different things. Anxiety is like the biggest factor right now that children are going through. COVID. I had so many students cry on camera because they were like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, my A-levels are a bit confused. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not actually going to sit my A-levels. I'm going to university. Where am I going to university? What am I going to do after that?
I wouldn't even know what to ask that sort of question.
So I'm just talking from an educational point of view because those are children that I deal with, and those sort of children talk to me. But I've also had children that have been like, Miss, I need birth control. What do I do? And then I'm like, oh my god. So
wow. Okay.
I get students that do that. I teach not as many girls, but you do get that as well. Just saying, think about it, and you can invest some non-binging.
No, that's a fair shout. You're holding me. Yeah, that is a fair shout, fair call. Whew, okay.
Just asking you to think about how you're spending your time sometimes as well.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That is absolutely fair. Fine. Oh, I'm gonna limit there then. Put under some real pressure there. Okay, no, fine. Have you had a good time?
I've had a great time. I'm definitely drunk after this hour. I've consumed...
Wait, drunk or tipsy?
Tipsy, occasionally. There is a difference between
Okay.
But as time's gone by, I feel like my vision is getting a little bit blurry. And my words just start all...
You're not slurring words
yet. They're not yet.
You're not slurring words yet.
Because I can feel it right in here.
Right, okay, fine. Okay, cool. Well, no, we call it a day. I'm glad to have you.
Thank you very much for having me.
And hopefully we could do it again in the future.
Definitely.
And I will seriously consider mentoring.
I think that's a good idea. I think you'd be a great mentor.
I'll speak to my old boss and see what he does and get a bit more information on it. And take it from there.
Good.
Cool. Campaign. Cheers. Cheers, campaign, salut. I should know more languages than that.
You should. I don't know what you're talking about.
What?
I speak 4 different languages about what you're talking
Never
about.
cheers, campaign.
Cheers. No, not campaign. Salut. Yes.
Salut.
That's it.
Campaign. What's Mandarin?
Is it? I don't know because how often I learn the actual formal language as opposed to informal.
Okay.
So yes, Mandarin, Cantonese, Spanish, French, English. That's it.
You speak Mandarin?
Yeah, but it's not great.
You should.
I can understand it.
You should.
Yeah.
You should. Okay. I don't speak anymore. My Mandarin is terrible. Absolutely. I've not spoken it in a long time.
Been teaching
I've not spoken it for a long time.
it. Okay.
Long time. It's embarrassing. I can count though.
Oh, good.
I can count. 1, 2,
3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8.
Yeah, man.
9, 10.
Yeah, that's really good. It's good.
Hey, you got, your boy's talented out here. I can't count in French though. It's embarrassing.
French is easy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
8.
8,
9.
9,
10.
10. Spanish? 1, 2, no.
1, 2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yes, yeah, 9.
10. 10. 11.
11.
12, 13, 16, 14. 16 is difficult. It's 16 different, right?
No, so you're thinking of French where it says.
So 16 is what? 16.
Yeah.
17.
I mean,
No, it's not.
No, it's not. You're right.
It's changed at 15. 16 is something else.
Yeah, and I've forgotten.
You're too drunk. You drunk the count.
Now I'm confused.
Jeffy said no 15.
No, because it's not
15
even
is different.
It's not even 11 is different. 11, 12.
That's it.
Yeah, that's what it's wrong. So you got me confused.
Yeah, sorry.
It's too much alcohol.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
15. Yeah. But no.
I was thinking shirt, shirt,
Yeah,
shirt,
exactly.
sign, shirt.
You're thinking of Mandarin.
Yeah. Because it's like 10 plus 1. Okay, yeah.
Spanish is different.
And on that note, we can count. Some of us can count.
Barely count.
We'll call it a day.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.